We know that every journey has its potholes, if you will, those moments, those times when it just didn't work and maybe you felt like giving up. So I'd love for you to share a story about when it didn't work, what you learned from it, but really take us to the moment in time so we can experience it with you, and then share how you found correction as direction.
Well, once we published the book, all we had was the book. So we didn't have a marketing plan. It was like the law of attraction without action. Right? So we had to start scrambling, and we started focusing on sales numbers. And we would do marketing, and then we would check the numbers, and we would panic, and we'd get frustrated, and we would get upset about how long it takes to get feedback from your marketing, and everything was about sales, and it just wasn't working. So we had to focus. We had to refocus on what we were doing. So we decided, okay, let's focus on our core message, which is giving yourself permission, building your inner strength, and making positive, substantial change into your life. So we started to focus on the benefits that we were sharing. And once we started to really focus on the benefits and not worry about the sales and not try to make sales, but just try to really let people know what we do and why, how it can help them, things really started to turn around from there. And at that point, it turned where we met David Ricklin from South Growth, and also we started working with Jim Britt and Jim Lutz from the Change Book series, and everything really turned around once we changed our focus and we got away from just pushing sales, and we got to the core message and really made everything about just sharing that message.
So, in other words, you started really caring about your audience and saying, we're going to deliver what's really important. And if we make a sale, we make a sale. But that's not as important as getting the message out. And I think that's when it becomes really transparent and it becomes very authentic and genuine. And people all of a sudden flock to you, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yes.
That's such a cool experience. I love it when it goes that way. Well, thank you for sharing those stories. Right now, we're going to talk about how to give yourself permission to achieve your goals. So, brand journalism community, if you think, well, I'm already successful and I've already got all this, success I need and I've reached the goals, give it a listen anyway, because there's probably some area of your life that you're holding back a little bit, or you're waiting for somebody to say, yeah, it's okay, step out, take that path. This is what it's all about, and Pamela and WT are going to share their top tips and take us through the process. So take it away.
So the first tip we have is you don't need permission to do anything, so don't ask anybody for that permission. And basically what we're saying is, when you really start to believe in yourself and you believe it in your core and you convince yourself in your mind and you learn to silence the voices of doubt, that's when you really truly give yourself permission. And once you're able to do that, you can focus on whatever goal you have, and nobody can talk you out of it, because once you really believe that you can achieve it, but it's a mental shift. You have to really convince yourself that it's possible and doable for you, because everything that you believe is possible and doable, you achieve without too much problems.
And success lies in the belief that you are worthy first. This should be your main message to yourself, which all ropes into this. So also I say, listen to your ego and then ignore it. So the reason why I say that is because it's that voice in your head, that voice that's always there ready to pull doubt out of anything that you do. And you can be so eager to start something, and then all of a sudden that voice comes and it says, oh, you must be kidding, you think you can do this? Why do you think you're smart enough to do this? You're not smart enough to do anything like that. So all that voice starts to play like a tape recorder in your head, it just keeps playing over and over again. So if you can find yourself in that, the real belief of yourself, so that you can learn to ignore that voice of negativity, and really get yourself into that place where you can move on and kind of push the ego to the background.
Yeah, and then our fourth tip would be to learn how to start complimenting yourself, acknowledging when you've done a good job, telling yourself that I can do this, I will do it, and just giving yourself encouragement, because that's a big way to give yourself permission to do that mental shift. And then the fifth thing that we always say is, your life is a collection of memories, so make your life memorable. And what we're talking about there is everything you do, like we talk about this in all our books and in the Change Book series, everything that you do, make it about the experience of doing that, and make that experience, because that's how you build your memories. They're all experiences that you have, and also focus on experiences that you want to have. So those are our 5 tips.
So if right now someone is listening to this and they have an idea, but maybe they've done this, they've shared the idea, which I think Napoleon Hill is the one to talk about, like kind of keeping it quiet. Don't always share your idea. And that's not, brand journalism community, for those of you who haven't read it, that's not necessarily because he thinks somebody's going to steal your idea, but it's because he thinks that people are going to shoot it down. And then you get discouraged, right? We've all been there. So real quick about my background is I became a TV news journalist at a very young age, like 19 years old, in the San Diego marketplace. So really quite unusual that I would be working in the San Diego marketplace. But ever since I was 12, I wanted to be a TV journalist. And I would tell people, and they would say, oh, that's like wanting to be a model or an actor. Nobody does that. And I was like, what are you talking about? Some people do it, Why can't it be me? And I honestly didn't think it wasn't possible. So as time went on and I started hearing more and more, you can't do this, that's not really a good career choice, it started to dampen my belief. But I had this saying, and I loved, you guys kind of said it, a version of it, once you believe it, you can achieve it. And so I really had that too, that just imagine it and you can achieve it. And I used to say that over and over and over again. I think it's a version of Walt Disney's quotes. But and I don't even remember ever hearing him say it. I have no idea how it got into my head. But I had this belief, and I really just wanted to do this so badly that I did one thing that I haven't heard you talk about, but I'm sure it's got to be in your books, and that was I acted and believed I was already it. And I lived in this state of envisioning a lifestyle. Like literally, I imagined myself reporting and standing there and holding the microphone and talking to a camera. And I truly believe if I hadn't done that, I would have never been able to get through this period in my life where a lot of people were not supportive of what I was choosing to do. Some were, my family, but a lot of people didn't think it was possible. What do you guys have to say about envisioning?
Absolutely, you're right. And this is what we both write about, isn't it, all the time, that you have to live it.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the Change Book 10, that's our chapter is all about building that experience of a future event that you want to experience.
Yeah, right.
Lesson of how to really load your subconscious mind to be able to believe that.
Yeah, this isn't hocus pocus, and I think it's a lot more commonplace, or at least it's a lot more mainstream today, kind of like talking about yoga, Buddhism, and Thai food.
Yes,
My father's from Bangkok, and if I said I was Thai 25 years ago, people went, "Oh, you're Taiwanese." Wow. No. So I think all of this is really coming full circle, and certainly The Secret helped it. And so the more people discover about this, but the more they realize, no, it's not just this like malarkey. It really is true stuff. So thank you so much for what you're sharing. I can't wait to read some of your books and check it out, because I certainly believe in it. But we got to move on in the essence of time. It is time to think like a journalist. You've been hired to help an ailing company that's about to financially collapse, its reputation shot. You have a month, $1,000 budget, a smartphone, and a laptop. WT, how do you begin to turn this company around?
Well, the first thing that I do is I change the focus of the company, and we're going to rebrand as a customer service and a customer experience company. I ran into this actual situation back when the stock market crashed in 2009, and that was what we had to do to get things turned around. We really had to focus on the customer first and making sure that the customer experience was great, because all the products are the same no matter what industry you're in. The big difference is how well do you look after your customer.
So good. What is one piece of